tournament is sponsored by Monsieur J. The top right, we have our Team Liquid player. He is
Liquid Hero.
At the bottom right, our Zerg player from the team, Startail, a strong Zerg. He is
StarTail Curious.
And same expression in every shot. You see a Forge Fast Expand is coming out for Hero. Now again, this is a huge map. It's 4 players. You know, it's, you know, as far as comparing it to Atlantis Spaceship, it's a 4-player map, so there's a lot more space, and in total, I believe there's more tiles on this map. But you see a 12 pool, no, 14 pool actually going down for Curious here. Probe Scout coming down. They're at close positions by air. Still a pretty big rush distance. A ton of bases for both players to hide. We may have another late game scenario like we saw last game. Another feature of this map is that the third base location has 2 huge ramps leading into it. 2 wide ramps. 2 massive ramps. Okay, they are big. And for that reason, it's very difficult for a Protoss to secure a third base against roach pressure on this map. Even though the rush distance is longer than on a map like Ohana, the ability to attack for a Zerg is still there, and it's still quite potent. Very strong strategy you may end up seeing here. Forces a cancel, but he's got to send his drone back because it's so low on hit points. Gonna have to send another drone down to do the fighting for him. Next is already on the way, as well as Gate Before Cannon for Hero. This is a great map to go Gate Before Cannon. It's a huge map. Probe gets taken out. That's pretty huge because now he's not going to be able to scout for the third base. And there was no reason for him to lose that probe. So a bit of a misstep by Hero losing that probe like that. Gotta be oh so careful with it. Now, Curious sending his drone down to the third base location to take it right on time. This is something that Curious is going to have to send the second probe out to scout with. Notice he's sending his probe way away from where the Zerglings are going to go. He's going to actually try to go through and avoid even the watchtower to send his probe around. Just being very, very careful with the scouting here. He wants to be able to see that third base no matter what. Cannon is done long before the Zerglings arrive. Double gas is now going up for Hero. And this game could not be more standard so far, except losing the probe. That could make it a little bit more standard if he kept it alive. He would already be seeing the third base right now, but he is going to go and check for it. He assumes it's there. It's a good assumption to make. Probe taking him the long way around. Now at this point, Hero is going to, when he sees this third base, decide his next plan of action. The Zerglings are continuing to check for that +1 research on the Forge. +1 research usually start around the same time that Warp Gate research is started. They have the same exact research time at 160 seconds in Protoss, so I know that. And he starts Warp Gate research, but not +1. Even the Overlord is in position to scout for that now. All this happens sometimes if you have Zerglings on hold position. You got to be careful about that Zealot coming out. Let's make a few additional Zerglings, and now finally the probe for Hero does scout that third base. He's even put down a pylon, which doesn't allow him to harass in all stages of the game. And the choice of tech will be Stargate. It will in fact not be robotics. It will not be a +1 for gateway pressure. It will be Stargate. Zealot bullies his way into the watchtower. No +1 will be taken out if he does not micro correctly. And in the end, the Stalker will have to chase these slow Zerglings away. Stalkers and Zerglings with the same movement speed. Gonna have to go and hide with the Queen. This is actually going to be annoying to deal with, though. On creep, of course, the Zerglings will have a speed upgrade. He just has to make a few more Zerglings here. And uh-oh, the Stalker not microed. A huge mistake by Hero. First Void Ray is on the way, and the Overlord is on its way in to try to scout for this. He's already seen the Cybernetics Core, but has not seen the Stargate. 10 drones on the way for Curious, droning up really heavily right now. He feels comfortable against possible pressure now that he's seen everything. He saw that no +1 was being researched. He still sees that. He's even hovering on it right now, seeing that it's been started. This Overlord is desperately trying to come in. There's so much space on this map, it's hard to hide tech. Or rather, it's hard to define tech, but he shows it with the Void Ray. Part of the strength of Void Ray openings is that when you show it, you force spores, force your opponent to react. So hiding the Stargate is not important once the Void Ray is out. Now, you may be wondering why. Well, why is it important to hide it at all then? Oh my god, that's not what I expected. But if you hide the Void Ray until it's out, like, if after the Void Ray is out, the timing for aggressive 4 gateway pushes or any sort of Blink Stalker play are already over. So, you know, you would have seen the Blink already, or you would have seen more gateways most likely, but after that, you actually just, you know that you can show the Void Ray because you haven't attacked with your gateway, so he knows it's going to be something else. You want to force the reaction. But this attack is going to be really difficult to hold at the third base because that pylon was not denied earlier on. He scouts with this Phoenix that the Roach Warren is a little bit late. He's still mining gas. This is not going to be a Zealot, a purely Zealot build. We've seen this a lot in the past, but it's not going to be what we see today. He's going to warp in Stalkers and Zealots. Primarily Stalkers. +1 is finished now. Look at this timing. We do have Robotics on the way as well. The Void Ray just being harassy, trying to take the focus away. And he's actually warping in at home rather than attacking at the third base. This is not what I expected after him adding that many gateways. This is actually weird. It's going to allow him to take a third base though really easily. Hydralisk then going down for Curious. I don't think he will commit very much to it this time. Okay, so now warping in those Stalkers at the aggressive position. And because he's hidden this so long, he's going to get 2 warp-ins. 2 warp-ins before Curious sees it. And Curious kills his probe now. He's like, oh, I'm fine. But in reality, he is not fine. He is not even close to being fine. He's got 12 Roaches on the way. But these units are going to be really tough to deal with. The cannon is still in play here. Some hesitation from Curious. Leaves him with only 4 Zerglings in the main base. 1 Zealot that gets warped in will be enough. But let's get a shot of the real action. Guardian Shield goes up here. The Void Ray is still in the mix. Queen's coming in. The Roaches get trapped. A lot of hesitation. The Void Ray needs to be microdosed back, though, because the Spore Crawler is doing some extra damage to it. Nice transfuses on the Roaches to buy some time here. You can actually transfuse the Queens as well. The Void Ray is not the problem, though. The problem is the ground units. And he is using a lot of transfuses on these Queens, which will be essentially useless against the Stalkers. Will he use Force Fields against the drones? In the end, no, he decides not to, just allowing the Stalkers to do their real damage, fighting the drones while the Roaches are not in the mix, waiting for that next round of units. And Curious could just be in 4th place here. This may just happen to him 2 seasons in a row. Cannot perform in Code S, but can perform outside of it. But he is holding strong still so far. The problem is the Void Ray remains alive. Great micro from Hero. The next round of warp-ins is going to be a problem. So many drones have already been lost. 15 drones killed so far. These Overlords are low on hit points. He's going to start finding himself supply blocked here very soon, as he's going to lose all 4 of these Overlords most likely. The Roaches do have speed now. He's warding this push off a little bit longer. The Queen's adding some extra DPS in, but the Stalkers, their warp-in is finished. The drone tanking a ton of Stalker fire here. Hero, though, has the better concave, and he has the better units. He's pushing through the army supply right now. 60 for Curious versus 45 for Hero, but he has a good army. It looks like Curious will actually push his back. He will hold. He will hold. The worker count 52 to 47, and he has done it. He has pushed this back. 6 more Roaches on the way. The Phoenix comes in here to try to help out, but it will actually be taken out by the Queens. And Hero in a lot of trouble now with no third base, no infrastructure in sight. He only has the +1 upgrade, not even +1 armor. Queen's a little bit caught off creep, though. And this game is still not over. He's not mining from that third base. He does not have any drones there. Oh, this is so tense. Hero's trying to decide right now whether or not he wants to commit to another warp, and he decides to. The units he chooses are 4 Zealots and 2 Sentries. The macro hatch for Curious has been so important holding this push. More and more Roaches coming out here. There is an Observer, so Burrow is not going to be as useful as he wants to be. Burrow's movement is not done. He needs to force field these Roaches. He does, but it's too late. They've already closed the distance. Now the Zealots, though, doing some extra damage. The Roach target firing is really good for Curious. Will he have enough, though? Another queen being made. He lost so many queens that he does not have the extra larva production from them. What will Hero do? Will he go all the way home with this, or will he warp in Stalkers to flank? He's warping in Stalkers at home and making a third Nexus. The attack has finally been held. The Immortal was going to join those Roaches, and now actually he's going to be able to, with these sentries, hold this Nexus against this small Roach force. It's hard to say really even who's ahead right now. The worker count 50 to 70 in Curious's favor. With the macro hatchery up as well, he's going to have a lot of production. Uh-oh, this Immortal's going to get caught. Oh, he saves it just barely. But still took a ton of damage. Spire is on the way. Roach speed as well. Or rather, Roach burrow movement, which was on the way earlier, but it's just now finishing. The supply is very similar for this matchup. Usually, at this stage of the game, the Zerg wants to have like 40 more supply, but he's only got 30 more, 25 even. The fourth base is going up at the same location as the pylon, so Hero can actually force a cancel on that with just one round of units. His Twilight Council is so late. He does not have Blink. He will not have Blink for a while. He does not have +2. Will not have it for a while. Does not even have +1 armor. The upgrades for the Zerg units, however, are still pretty low as well, with no +1. Actually, the Zerg has no upgrades whatsoever. He's getting his first one, which is in fact the armor upgrade. No, he has upgrades for his Zerg units. I take it back. Take it back, guys. Sorry. Please don't doubt me again. At this point, the Roaches going across the map, but Mutalisks are on the way. 12 of them with +1 for the Mutas on the way as well. He's going to try to use them to attack 2 locations. This is what I was talking about. Look at these huge ramps. There are so many Immortals here. It's going to be hard for the Zerg to actually try to force this. Uses the burrow movement defensively to retreat, but it's going to be very difficult for Hero to defend 2 fronts once those Mutalisks start flying in. Still trying to draw the attention of Hero away. And this is exactly what I was talking about with those Zealots. He targets down the hatchery. The hatchery will be canceled just at the very last second. Now he can actually send those Zealots away and then use them again when the hatchery is remade. The first 12 mutas are out, 16 of them out in total. The second wave going to be falling very closely behind. And these probes very, very exposed right now as the units of Hero are way out of position. So many probes being lost here. In total, already 13 killed in seconds. He's even going to go for these Stalkers. He doesn't have +1 for the mutas yet, but there are not enough units. Hero's spreading himself really well, though. He has enough to defend his third base location against the Roaches, but the mutas in the main base are going to kill more and more probes. Hero in a lot of trouble if he does not start cannons immediately. Oh, and now he's going for the third base. There are very few Stalkers here, but nice positioning from Hero. The worker count now 68 to 43 in Curious's favor. The hatchery still being denied by Zealots over on the left side of the map, but the Roaches will finally shut that down. Will kill the pylon as well. It's such a tense game, but Curious, I feel, slowly starting to take aggressive leads here. He will not only be able to finish his 4th base on the right side of the map, but will be able to start a 5th at that location where the pylon once was. More Mutalisks coming out for him now. It's going to put him at a total of 28 Mutalisks. He has +1 now as well. He's going up to 30. 6 mutas more on the way. Baneling Nest. Spine Crawlers going down. He takes another macro hatchery. Look at this. The mutas coming in here. The worker kills gone up now to 26. And he's going to fight these Stalkers as his Roaches come in on the left side. At the third base, he's forced to use his army to defend 2 locations at once. Hero does not have enough units. Oh, Hero fans and Liquid fans are on the edge of their seat right now because the mutas are going into the main. They are killing more probes. Hero down to 96 supply. The Roaches, they will not stop. The force fields, there are few of them left. Only sentries and Immortals to defend the left side, and it looks like Hero may not be able to defend either side. Now the Muta is going to join the mix and clean up the only Immortal mix here. A great composition by Curious, and he will take this game. He will advance to the match against Seed. He will rematch the player who brought him to the losers match in the first place. And Hero is done. He is down to 73 supply. If you look at the production tab, which you guys can't, you will see he's producing nothing. because he does not know what to do. He is a position where he finds himself not supply blocked, not on gateway cooldown, but on mental cooldown as he tries to prepare himself mentally for what the next step should be. Warping in 4 High Templar, 2 Archons morphing. It's going to be helpful against the Zergling Mutalisk composition he's facing here, but 2 Archons alone will not be enough. Curious running in now with Zerglings leading the charge. The Zergling upgrades at 1-1. The army of Hero does have +2. The Archons falling so quickly though. And this is going to be it. This is the last stand for Hero. GG. Curious will advance to the final match to rematch against Seed in another ZVP to see if he can advance in Code S and prove that he is not just an elite Code A player, but he can play with the big boys. Taking out Hero, who is the 4th ranked Protoss in the GSL, making it all the way to the round of 4 last season. Looking amazing, but that is the end of his run. We will see him in Code A. Calder and I will be watching him there, where he will very likely emerge again as a Code S player. But this is not his time. This is not his season. He is completely out. And now we have 2 players left. We have Seed and we have Curious. The last time we saw these 2 players play, which was just hours ago, Curious lost 2-0. Seed destroyed him. Now Seed's rematching him. Curious has learned a lot from his games. We saw a double Stargate play. We saw straight up play on the first game. Curious lost this guy on pretty standard maps. What will be the case in this next best of 3? Will we see similar builds from Seed? Will Curious's mentality be affected? In the past, Curious has shown very little care about whether or not his opponent beat him the last time. His emotions are completely removed from his gameplay. Actually, just sits down and takes each game on a case-by-case basis. We'll see how Seed's emotions are going. Both of these players vying for that 2nd position in Code S. They do not want to fall down to the round of 32 in Code A. This is a stressful position for both of them, but one will advance victorious. Our opening map is going to be Entombed Valley for these 2 players, by the way. A great opening map for Seed. May put him into the lead already. And Curious, he's going to be a little bit more tired. He just had to play 2 fairly long games against Hero, whereas Seed has just been kind of chilling out, relaxing right now. And this is going to be a really, really stressful position for Curious. He's going to be really tired. We'll see if that cold, emotionless figure that he always shows will shine through today. We'll take a quick 5-minute break. Go on Twitter, follow GOMTV, follow myself at Proxy Wolf. We'll see you in 5.